Ladies and gentlemen, you should know who I am by now, but in case you don't, I am the manager of champions. I am one half of the Undisputed Kings of Commentary. I am founder and co-owner of the single greatest virtual wrestling promotion on the planet. My name is Stanley Brewer, and I'm kind of a big deal. And I am joined once again by my esteemed partner, the other half of the Undisputed Kings of Commentary, Mr. Eli Storm.
Oh, that is correct, Stanley.
Oh my God, that camera fell. Fuck. Sorry, go ahead.
And it is great to be here for another wonderful live stream of the greatest professional wrestling company, virtual or real, on the planet Earth. Welcome to Overdrive. And as the manager of V brand, VA brand, the It brand, championship glory, we are going to provide you excellent service here tonight. But first, let's just recap the phenomenal draft that we had last week.
So we had over 40 superstars selected in the draft that took so long that I couldn't feel my ass about halfway through. But that's okay. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of pettiness, but I feel that we both drafted rosters that, I don't want to say phenomenal because we use that word way too goddamn much. We drafted two rosters that were fucking immaculate. But to go on top of all of that, we had some phenomenal matches to go through the previous night. Highlights of the night being, in my opinion, the triple threat between eventual winner Tommaso Ciampa, Seth motherfucking Rollins, and MJF, with the Tomato Champ clinching his spot at WrestleMayhem. But in the main event, a ladder match unlike any other, where Kevin Owens broke the ceiling and now might be the single most powerful man in all of Overdrive right now, as he has a manila envelope with a championship opportunity any week that he chooses. Eli, what are your thoughts on the matches that took place in last week's immaculate draft?
Oh no, absolutely great draft last week. The matches were even better. Kevin Owens did indeed break the ceiling last week. And I am very excited to see what he comes up with in the next 6 months when it comes to taunting him, the eventual world champion over on Glory. Definitely highlight of the night to me, as much as it pains me to say it, was the triple threat match. Tommaso Ciampa proving that no one will survive the Blackheart. Absolutely phenomenal match. The first 5-star match of its kind in Overdrive. But let's not focus on those matches for a moment. Let's focus on the fact that 3 individuals absolutely outshone their opponents in very quick fashion. Moose with a dominant victory over Hangman Page. Cody Rhodes with the controversial win over Solo Sikoa, some would say. And Bayley defeating Dr. Britt Baker D&D in the first ever match in the history of OCW.
All of those either phenomenal and, oh goddamn, I used that word again. All of those either great or interesting matches. Referees were a bit of a sour point last week. Going back and watching the tape of the RK Bro Young Bucks match, I will say I don't think that was due to referee, because simply put, whichever Jackson was not the legal man tried to break up the pin, but instead force pushed them to the middle of the ring. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Me and my legal experts of Me, Myself, and I looked over that match very, very closely. We could not see any referee tomfuckery there, but you mentioned that controversial finish.
Bullshit and hogwash you're spewing right now. The favoritism for RK Bro is absolutely astounding.
That's not favoritism. I drafted the Bucks first, you mother person who has a mother.
And yet, I feel like.
Well, he said he feels like, and I guess he doesn't feel like it anymore. Well, it looks like we might have lost him for the time being, but one of the most controversial moments on the night was Solo Sikoa grabbing onto the bottom rope after being hit with the crossroads, but the referee not seeing it, and Cody Rhodes being the first, like not the first, I apologize, being the second man to clinch a spot in the Overdrive World Heavyweight Championship fatal four-way. Now, Eli, are you back? Have you reestablished connection in your mother's basement yet? It appears he has not. I have no idea where he has gone, but he will surely come back in a moment. But long and short of it is an absolutely immaculate night for virtual professional wrestling. And this week is the premiere of the white brand and the orange brand, Overdrive, Glory, and Pride, respectively, where this week, much like in the draft, every match means something because title opportunities, a chance to be in the inaugural Overdrive Championship Wrestling pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks. WrestleMayhem is on the line in every single match tonight. And I will go ahead and throw it into standby. And once Eli manages to re-find himself, we will introduce the card for tonight's Glory. Stand by, folks. We will be right back with some more goodness.
Sorry about that. Those technical difficulties are due to retribution and the members that weren't hired for a reason. But we are back, and I just want you guys to know that tonight you are in for a very exciting treat. Isn't that right, Stanley?
Yes, we are. And while I fix my camera because it decided to shit the bed, why don't you go over your card for tonight's festivities?
Right. For the first ever Overdrive Glory, we will be opening with another 2 out of 3 falls qualifier for the International Championship. This time, Cedric Alexander will be taking on Santos Escobar, the leader of the Legado del Fantasma and now a member of the LWO, and what I expect to be the highlight of the night. Also, the match to decide who will be competing at WrestleMayhem for our Tag Team Championship over here on Glory will be a 8-man elimination battle royale. The final 2-man standing, as long as they are members of opposite teams, will decide the 2 teams of that match. In the event that both members, sorry, got confused for a second. 1 man will represent 8 different teams. Those 2 teams, the final 2 teams, will decide the match. And the winners of this match will become not only the favorites with the advantage, but they will decide what match stipulation they will have for the tag team match at WrestleMayhem. After that, a match that's going to be very near and dear to my heart because I think it's going to be an absolute banger. We have Kazuchika Okada taking on the Rated R Superstar and Hall of Famer Edge in a championship qualifier for the world title Fatal 4-Way.
as much as I hate your brand, this is probably the match on your side of things that I am looking forward to the most. The Rainmaker, one of the kings of strong style, going up against a man who had to leave wrestling for over a decade, but through reverse engineered neck or whatever the hell he had to do, is back and has absolutely dominated wrestling since his return. But anyways, continue on with your card, good sir.
Absolutely. We're glad to have Edge here in Overdrive after successfully returning from one of the most unfortunate injuries that I've ever seen in my professional wrestling career. Next up, we have, to me, the best women's division. And with that being said, the first four women drafted to Glory, our core four, will be competing in a fatal four-way, and the winner of that match will be going to WrestleMayhem to face Jordan Grace for the glorious Women's Championship.
Can't believe just out here handing out opportunities while other people have to fight for it. But hey, you know, whoever faces Jordan Grace, sure to be a great match regardless. I hope it's not, but, you know, you can't compete with talent.
Jordan Grace was an acquisition that I felt was absolutely needed for Glory, so I had to do what I had to do in contract negotiations. But what you don't seem to understand is that Jordan Grace, coming into this, was one of the champions in the other universe that I felt absolutely was needed more than anything else. Obviously, Asuka and Rhea vacated their titles when they came over, but they've been proven commodities on a grand stage. And I think Jordan Grace, as a champion for a lesser promotion in the alternate universe, who has put on what I could say some of the more intense matches over the last few years, deserves that opportunity. And I'll promise you, when this match happens, you'll see why Jordan was awarded that spot. Following that match, we've got another fatal four-way, which will decide the final member of the triple threat match for the Glory International Championship. In this match, we'll be having Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, Lance Archer, and Bryan Danielson competing in what I think will be an absolute slobber knocker. All of these men have been to the top of the mountains in some shape, form, or fashion, besides Lance Archer, who obviously has a chip on his shoulder. And I think between those three guys and Jeff Hardy's high-flying charismaticness, that we're going to see a match that absolutely blows people out of the water. And in our main event...
But before you get to the main event, I do have a question. Can you guarantee that somebody is going to die in this international qualifier match? That is the big question on everybody's mind right now.
I cannot confirm whether someone will die. However, as Lance's theme song says, everybody does die. So if Lance successfully wins this match, I definitely think we're going to see some broken bodies along the way. Which I don't want.
He is absolutely my favorite in this match, then.
Yeah, well, I will say that Lance obviously has a power and height advantage over the majority of this match, but Drew McIntyre is no small fellow, and I definitely think that it may come down to these two. But with that being said, in our main event, we have the former undisputed WWE Universal Champion, a man who has not been pinned until recently, over 3.5 years, getting in what I like to call a revenge match with Juan Claudio Castagnoli, the former ROH World Champion. Claudio, unfortunately, in another universe, was unsuccessful in his attempt to challenge Roman Reigns for a said Universal title, in a match that seemed quite unfair to a lot of people because he had just finished being in a grueling Elimination Chamber match. So I think a fresh Claudio is a very interesting opponent for Roman. And obviously this man, the winner, will join the Fatal 4-Way for the glorious World Championship. So I'm very curious to see if Roman can continue his winning ways over here in Glory.
And just a reminder, the qualifiers for that glorious championship so far being Mike the Miz Mizanin as well as Cody Rhodes. And obviously 2 more spots on the line tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time that, as much as I hate to say it, we need to get into the Glory brand. So here we go. And welcome to the Trojan Wrestling Center, the home of Overdrive Glory, modeled to look as best like an arena as it possibly can. And yeah, you're welcome. We spent a lot of money on this. I did it for you.
Making his way to bring Cedric Alexander, a guy who has had opportunities in WWE, but not the greatest of ones. He's a former cruiserweight champion and a former tag team champion. But I think this match is an opportunity for Cedric to not only loosen that chip on his shoulder, but show the world that he is of quality and that he can prove that he deserves to be a upper mid-card talent.
Cedric, to me, really is kind of the what-ifs of the COVID era of WWE. It seemed like at one point or another he was destined to break out of the Hurt business and go on an amazing path of his own as a single star. Yet that never seemed to happen, and he's kind of wallowed in the lower card ever since then.
Yes, of course. And obviously, his opponent here tonight is Santos Escobar, a second-generation superstar of massive talent. He's taken on his father's name and Tasman with his group. He used to be El Hijo del Fantasma in NXT before removing his mask. And I'm excited to see what he gets up to in the main roster. He's a former cruiserweight champion as well. And so I'm very excited to see what these two guys can show each other in the ring tonight. Both of them are very, very good at what they do, whether that's mat wrestling or high flying. And so I'm looking forward to see not only who wins this match, but who can get that very elusive first fall.
Now, Santos, you mentioned former cruiserweight champion, holding that also during the COVID era in WWE, winning the tournament before removing his mask and before beginning Legado del Fantasma itself, holding the belt all the way through the COVID era, and at one point unifying it with Jordan Devlin, who had won it at Worlds Collide right before the pandemic truly hit. And the bell has rung, and we are underway here in Overdrive Glory. Ugh, I hate saying that word, but here we are.
Santos taking advantage of
And Santos now, oh my goodness.
What a leg drop here.
Man, he's going to be feeling bad in those thigh gaps tomorrow. It's Cedric whipping him over the corner.
Santos celebrating a little early, and Cedric immediately makes him pay for it.
Fireman's carry by Santos. And oh my goodness. Just whipping him over his shoulder. Here's the cover. And an air fall, but nothing.
Yeah, that was kind of scary for a second. I was like, there's no way this is all we see. What a rough right by Santos here. Irish whip.
Now,
Santos Escobar is completely in control of this match currently. And seeing that backbreaker is kind of funny, seeing as Cedric Alexander is one of the two men in professional wrestling who are very, very good at executing the backbreaker in its various forms. The other being Roger Strong.
Now Cedric now showboating a little bit. Looks like he's trying to regain a little bit of control. Now last week in our first 2 out of 3 falls international qualifier, Carmelo Hayes getting that first fall by using the ropes, but Trick Williams not helping his cause at all, as Mustafa Ali not only got the next pinfall, but then won the match with a submission hold. And you have to wonder how much is the technical side of things really going to come into play. Oh my God, Cedric going high risk over the top rope. He is taking control.
Cedric Alexander staying through the referee after being stopped from going to the outside. Absolutely massive dive here. And like I said earlier, these two guys are very good at what they do when it comes to mat and chain-based wrestling, and also high flying. You're seeing that here tonight.
But how much do you think? But how much do you think that technical side of thing is going to play into not only this match, but just international championship matches going forward? Because obviously, it made the difference for Mustafa Ali last week.
I definitely think we'll see a lot of technical wrestling be shown for sure. The point of the international championship when I was building this brand was just I like guys who I felt weren't getting a fair shot, and a lot of those guys just happen to be cruiserweights.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I also have future plans for that weight division specifically. We'll see how it plays out in later episodes of Glory, but for right now, I definitely think some of these higher echelon cruiserweights deserve to be seen on the grand stage, and that is all about proving that they're the best in different ways. The international championship, to me, is definitely going to have X Division Championship vibes over from Impact Wrestling, and I can't wait to see what's next. So whether you're a high flyer or a technical superstar, or even a giant, you need to prove that you're the best all around the world.
So you say Giants.
Internationally.
You say Giants. Does that confirm that Andrew Everett will be coming to glory? Oh my goodness. And Cedric now showing up his
I'm a
knee.
very big fan. What a splash there. I'm a very big fan of Andrew Evans, like I was saying. And I don't say yes or no, but I will say that in glory, the door is always open. As I said earlier, my mentor, Chris Sheriff, the guy who helped me lay the groundwork for the Break the Ceiling ladder match, definitely, as far as I'm concerned, has a future opportunity in that match whenever he so chooses. So with that being said, with the GOAT having an open invitation, I can't say that anybody on the Indies also didn't have the free reign to try and prove themselves here in glory and earn a contract.
And meanwhile, Cedric, a brainbuster going for the cover and gets absolutely nothing. But that is the great thing about our promotion is that the door really could be open to just about anybody. Obviously, there are a number of superstars who weren't even in the draft that I'm sure would not mind showing up and kicking ass a time or two, whether it be just for 1 week or permanently. The door is always open. Santos now in the top or middle rope, I'm sorry. And oh my goodness! It's Santos stuck.
Avalanche of the Wild. Is this it? 1.
And he kicks out at 2.
Unbelievably at 2.5 here.
That was probably 1% luck, 10% skill, and oh my goodness! Santos now. And there he'll get that first fall. Alexander not being able to kick out of that.
Jack right here. Unbelievable.
And Cedric now, oh, what is he doing? And oh, a head scissors and a kip up. And he has not been worn down in the slightest here. And now planting Escobar. And he's thinking high risk. Alexander, elbow drop.
Elbow drop here.
Will that be enough? Here's the cover. And,
and it is not enough. 2 counts off a good elbow drop. Let's see what Cedric does now. But calling for something here.
He might be looking for that lumbar check. It's exactly that. But Santos close to the ropes. Wait, not anymore.
1, 2, Santos is stunned.
And
3,
that is a
Cedric Alexander ties things up. We are at 1-1 here, ladies and gentlemen.
Though Santos, though, obviously with some of those moves, especially that avalanche up top rope, but a suicida right there. Do you think that Santos sacrificed?
Fails thanks to Santos' quick recovery here.
But do you think that Santos might have sacrificed the body a bit too much, though, getting that first fall?
Well, he definitely tried to do the most damage he could early on, which led to him receiving just about as much. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him in the ass here. As Cedric is literally ragdolling him on the outside of the ring as he works his legs. We are at a count of 5. These guys have to get back in the ring here.
And a super kick against the barrier, and Santos, he can't even move. Looking for, oh, just drops him.
Working on the back again for maybe that second lumbar check here. We are at a count of 6, and they are still fighting on the outside.
And, oh, throws him against the steps.
Here. We're counting.
Are we about to get a draw here? Someone needs to get back in the ring, and Cedric finally does.
After throwing Santos to the outside, is he looking for a count-out victory here as he goes to celebrate? I think
count of 9, and Santos is not getting up. Referee checking on him. He's not counting to 10, and now he does.
Cedric Alexander once again proving that anything is possible here in Overdrive Wrestling because he gets to reverse tube sweep. First with the lumbar check, and then secondly, doing enough damage on the outside and then throwing Santos into the barricade, allowing for a 10 count. While I am not a fan of that, it is smart, and I have to commend Cedric on that. But let it be known, I am not a fan of count-out victories, and I will keep that in consideration in future matches.
I will say, though, that's probably one of the more unique ways that you can win one of these kinds of matches, and I mean, honestly, as I was saying, I think that damage that Santos did to himself early on ended up coming back to bite him. Cedric taking advantage of the situation, working over the back, dropping Santos on his spine on the railing, and then just leaving him for dead outside of the ring. You may not like it, but I think that was a pretty clever victory. And just like that, it's now Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali who have clinched their spots at WrestleMayhem in the International Championship match. But that was just the first of absolutely many. I almost hit the wrong thing.
No, I'm very looking forward to this next match here. This battle royal is between some of the best tag team wrestlers in the business and a few guys who kind of just happen to find a tag team partner. We also have one of the youngest members of our roster here in Brutus Breeze, and I definitely think that he will be looking to make a statement as one of the young bucks in this company.
I do have to say, I want to talk a little bit about some of the newer tag teams that you have formed. Obviously, Tyler Breeze teaming up with Josh Alexander to form the new Team Canada, and then a matchup that really should have probably happened when they were both in the same company. Ricochet and Keith Lee, part of One and Glory. Tell me why you wanted to bring those teams together.
I think Tyler Breeze will eventually rise to superstardom as a single competitive leader in Glory, but I wanted Josh Alexander, who I also feel is a future world champion, to kind of return to his roots. He's a former world tag team champion with all ego Ethan Page, and I think Breeze, who's missing Fandango, obviously deserved the opportunity to truly gain back tag team gold after not getting a fair shot at NXT after losing those tag titles, as Dak Harwood, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers in the world today, makes his way to the ring. And I just think that a new Team Canada is needed. Obviously, variations of that form for the World Cup and TNA. And I think we needed some of that here in Glory. So I thought, who could I get to show Canada is one of the best countries in the world when it comes to professional wrestling? And those are two that came to mind, because obviously Kevin Owens is already Mr. Break the Seal.
And of
With
course,
that being said, obviously, Swerve and Glory was a tag team I thoroughly enjoyed in AEW, but they were unfortunately broken up way too soon thanks to the inner workings of the mind that is one Isaiah Swerve Scott. And with that being said, Ricochet and Keith Lee are two guys I think who deserve better in general. So what better way than to claw their way up to the top and being tag team? As one half of Alpha Academy, another guy who I would like to say in Chad Gable deserves better. He's a Triple Crown Tag Team Champion. And yet, I think there should definitely be some mid-card and future World Championship gold in that future. So with that being said, why not add Chad's fourth title reign here with Otis and show how great he can truly be?
Now, of course, as we discussed during the draft, you caused me a lot of heartbreak by picking the Alpha Academy. But this man right here, one of the guys that you wanted off rip, and I gave to you for the right price, a former one-time WWE champion, and besides that, a tag specialist for a lot of his career, Kofi Kingston. Now, what are your plans for the New Day in Glory, if you can reveal anything, of course?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but best believe that whether the New Day win this battle, they go on to win the tag team championship or not, the Freebird rule is still in effect. Xavier and Big E will reap the benefits of whatever Kofi does, and vice versa. The New Day, Xavier Woods, I have great plans for. Unfortunately, Xavier is heading to an injury right now, so he's not involved in the International Championship qualifier, but he will definitely be in the mix for that title very soon. Obviously, Kofi is a decorated champion the world over in WWE. He's obviously the greatest, on paper at least, tag team champion of all time with over 1,000 total days. And I look forward to seeing what he gets up to in Glory with his brother.
And he also has double-digit
Speaking of
wins.
brother,
Jey Uso deciding to bring the tag belts with him, even though he no longer possesses them. But Jey Uso might be one of the most interesting positions in an alternate universe, scoring the pinfall over his cousin Roman Reigns, a pinfall that was quite literally over 3 years in the making. Do you think Jey might have an even bigger chip on his shoulder, knowing that he's once again been penned as a tag team guy despite being the right-hand man and seemingly being able to make it on his own?
I've had discussions with Jay. Obviously, I don't know why he decided to bring the titles that night, other than to make a statement that is one of the only two champions coming into this match. And we'll have conversations about free promotion for other companies later. But I tell Jay that I want him to help build the groundwork for my tag division because he's one of the best in the world at doing that. But I tell Jay not to worry because I believe him and Jimmy have successful potential as individuals, and to keep in mind that if you work for me and you do your best, and I'll always have your back. So Jay Uso may be a tag team specialist. That doesn't mean that with him being in this battle royal, that he's only allowed to be tag team king. We'll see what's next for Jay in the future. But don't worry, to all the fans out there, Jay Uso has immense and enormous potential, and I refuse to let that go to waste. As Damian Priest, a guy who in another universe just recently won the Money in the Bank title match,
Senior
comes
Money
out
in
to
the
the
bank,
ring.
yes sir.
Priest is a member of Judgment Day along with Finn Balor, and again, like I said earlier, even though these guys are in tag teams, it does not mean that they will be limited to that. I believe that if you have the talent, you're allowed to wrestle in whatever division you so choose. Whether Damian Priest sticks to that or not is completely up to him, but I expect great things from him here in Glory.
I mean, a great example just of real life of tag teams going single. Both parts of Motor City Machine Guns are champions in an alternate universe. I know that's a team that you have a lot of fondness for, being an old school TNA fan. And so,
absolutely, I'm super excited to see if they eventually come through the door here with Alex Shelley finally gaining that one thing that eluded him his entire career, and in fact, becoming world champion. I fear for that reign when it comes to Slammiversary and Nick Aldis, but I expect nothing but great things from him. Leo Rush recently making an appearance in Impact, a guy who I have my eye on the independent scene. So we'll see what happens with him and Chris Sabin meet for the X Division title as Brutus Creed, the other champion in this match. The NXT Tag Team title obviously vacated by him and his brother when they officially signed with Overdrive here. These guys can do whatever they want with their titles, but I don't expect to see these things moving forward.
but
As he bear crawls into the ring.
But didn't the Creed brothers recently get kicked out of NXT, like literally just the other night? So I think
they did. Moving to the Diax, and maybe this is more of a statement.
Nah, if you ask me, I think Brutus is just desperate to hang on to better days. That's what I think's happening right here. Meanwhile, we have a power outage. Looks like we forgot to pay the goddamn bill again. Oh, wait, nope, never mind. Someone just making an entrance. I told them not to do that.
It's the gorgeous one. Tyler Breeze, a guy who I had very numerous talks with to get him to sign here with Overdrive after for the draft pool, after realizing that he, while working with WWE over on the Up Up Down Down channel, was not officially signed, and I feel like that was a waste of opportunity because Tyler Breeze is a phenomenal wrestler who I expect big things from in this company. He's been in this business for over 12 to 15 years at this point, and I just think a veteran presence like him in the locker room for some of the smaller guys is destiny.
Of course, Breeze being the one guy on the WWE roster to wrestle Jushin Thunder Liger, well, at least wrestle in a WWE ring, I should specify. Breeze is another one of those guys who, while being penned as a tag team guy, never really has gotten that chance to win the big one. And he's being teamed with a former world champion in Josh Alexander. Do you think that Alexander's experience might be able to help rub off on Breeze a little bit?
I definitely think that Tyler Breeze, if given the opportunity, could have been Intercontinental or World Champion. He definitely reminds me of Dolph Ziggler, who he's feuded with in the past, who has won those titles. But I definitely think with Josh Alexander being the experienced World Champion and tag specialist he is, that iron sharpens iron, and Team Canada's newest iteration will definitely have the opportunity to make each other great.
And here we have
the
final
member comes in. Ricochet is probably currently WWE's best high fly, who absolutely makes everything look relatively easy. This is a guy who front flips over the ropes, halfway up into the ramp to stare down. He has should not be named. A guy who with vast
I could
potential
sing
who
the
wasted.
song, but I'm not going to. I respect you
E R
at
E
least
N
that
N
much.
E. Yeah, no, for sure. And again, speaking of he who shall not be named, Tyler Breeze had a wonderful match with him on his return back to NXT a couple of years ago. And a match that I definitely thought that he would become the new North American champion. But that did not happen, so we'll see what happens when Tyler Breeze eventually makes his way into the International Championship goal. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a massive battle royale. It's all about tag team wrestling.
8 men, but only 6 eliminations needed to see who will go on to fight for the prideful tag team championships. And right now, everybody just punching and kicking each other. I almost said kitchen. I mean, what else are you going to do in a battle royal when you're all standing in that ring all at once?
Damian Priest absolutely laying into Jey Uso here. This match is going to be absolute chaos. Appears we have Kevin Dunn.
Ricochet with a Pele kick. At least I believe it's Pele. I don't know. I can make up names for moves if I want to. It's my show. Not my brand, but you know what I mean. Anyways.
Jey Uso working over Dax. Ricochet and Kofi in one corner. Breeze and Chad in another. And Brutus Creed
is dead. Or is
maybe that speaks to inexperience in these types of matches.
Ricochet might be going over, fighting back against Dax, though, and oh my goodness, a head scissors.
Tyler Breeze here now. He's
Breeze helicoptering on top of Dax, and then hitting him in the back of the head like the silly boy that he is. Here we go. Oh my goodness, what a nice suplex by Gable, but Priest is gonna grab him and just gonna drop him on his back. Thought he'd throw him over the back rope. And it is just a mess right here. But who do you think has the advantage in this match, Eli?
Obviously, there are guys like Kofi Kingston who's been in many, many Royal Rumbles over the years. That experience has to play into a lot. I mean, you have the absolute one Damian Priest, the height and weight advantage here. So we can expect that to go in his favor for a bit. Maybe 2 people will have to eliminate him. But all these guys are relatively quick for their size.
And Jey Uso going out.
Jey Uso is eliminated.
And Breeze going out. 2 quick eliminations, and we're talking over each other because of how fast they happen. But Brutus Creed, though, trying to go for that first elimination in the corner on Ricochet, not being able to do it. But you feel like Brutus, being the youngest man in this match, has something to prove?
Oh, absolutely. Being the younger brother at that, and Julius being he's always been looked down on. Definitely think he'll be trying to prove to himself and his brother in this match, and hopefully we can see a lot of good things from them in the future. The field has been narrowed down to 6. 4 more eliminations until we have the glorious championship tag title match solidified for WrestleMayhem. As Jack Ricochet in the corner, Ricochet's back in the ring. At Chad Gable and Brutus, the Olympic, or should I say the amateur guys of the group, working over each other currently. Kofi is just catching the slack from all the other guys with the most experience in the ring currently.
Perhaps we could be seeing some future matchups here between some of these competitors. I would pay money for a Brutus Creed and Chad Gable match. Heck, Alpha Academy versus the Creed brothers. Honestly, sign me up. I hate to say that because I hate
as a former amateur wrestler, that match excites me like you wouldn't believe. I definitely have to look forward to that in the future. As Damian Priest once again is working over Brutus. I don't know who I want to win this match. I feel like this is the first time in a while I'm truly
interested. Going over.
I don't know when Brutus are going at it. He saved himself by skinning the cat. Ricochet doing flipping shit as usual.
Now Ricochet, he's been thrown to the outside. To the outside of the ropes a couple times in this match. Brutus, meanwhile, a delayed. I'm not sure what it's going to be, and he's just gonna go ahead and implant Dax, but. I mean, I don't. Oh my goodness! And Ricochet now he gets eliminated as I'm complimenting him. I should just compliment everybody and they'll die. Kofi now staying in, and it's not a flashy save, but for the time being, saving himself. now rolling back in, and Priest now just looking for somebody. Doesn't realize Kofi got back up. Brutus, though, intercepted Kofi and just planting him on his back.
Slamming him into the ground here as Priest then takes out Brutus. Chad and Dax are in the corner. These guys know each other very well. From Chad Davis.
And Dax has been eliminated.
With Jason Jordan. As Dax Harwood is eliminated. Honestly, that is an upset to me. I was expecting him to be one of the two to make it to the end.
And Chad
and
Gable
we are now
eliminated.
down to 3.
With one more elimination, we will determine who will go to WrestleMayhem for the Prideful Tag Team Championships. And a gut-wrench suplex by Damian Priest and hitting the back of the head by Kofi.
I can tell you, Stanley, I'm honestly surprised. No Usos, no FTR, no Alpha Academy. I was definitely not expecting this match to go away done before, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Brutus Creed is being worked over with Kofi here.
And is he going to eliminate? Oh, Kofi with the elimination!
We will have Judgment Day versus the New Day for the glorious tag team titles at WrestleMayhem now. Let's see what type of match that will be, as Priest is absolutely bodying Kofi Kingston at the moment.
I just realized, I keep calling them the Prideful titles. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about
No,
them.
you always said it at one time. That's okay. We're a new company. We're working. We're still the undisputed kings of commentary because shit happens.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the better tag team titles, but that's beside the point. A Falcon Arrow, or at least something resembling it. And Priest now.
Oh no.
Measuring up.
He's in trouble.
And south of heaven. Is this going to be it? Will Judgment Day have the ball in their court? Ooh, Kofi now. Whipping Priest.
This is experience playing its part. Kofi immediately jumps and massive punches to Damian Priest here. What an uppercut.
Kofi's holding his own against the absolute physical specimen that is Senor Money in the Bank. Here. Priest now going Kofi into the corner. Kofi dodging. Is this his opportunity? This could be throwing him over. Drop kick.
Kofi Kingston wins the Battle Royal, which means the New Day will not only be joining WrestleMayhem, but they will be deciding the stipulations for the match. And I, and for one, am very curious of what Kofi Woods and E come up with here.
I think the big question is.
I'm probably upset with that, but they are going to WrestleMayhem. It is confirmed we have the title match. So even though Priest lost here tonight, I'm definitely thinking his head is held here because he solidified the bag for his team.
But I think the big question going into WrestleMayhem now is what members of the New Day are going to be joining Kofi? Is it going to be Xavier Woods, who he's been tagging with recently, or is it going to be Big E, who not too long ago in an alternate universe was on a singles run where he was a WWE champion? Obviously, they have 2 full weeks to think about it. Whoever they pick is whoever they pick. But that was a pretty exciting Battle Royal, and we will now transition into our next match following this loading screen. But Eli, your thoughts on that match?
I definitely am surprised. I figured New Day would be one of the 2 teams remaining. However, I'm definitely surprised that teams like FTR and the Usos, and even to an extent the Alpha Academy, were eliminated so early. The final 3 teams being the Creed Brothers, the Judgment Day, and New Day was not something I expected. That just goes to show that Brutus, despite his inexperience, was able to hold his own and pick his spots. And he was, a drop kick away from being in the WrestleMayhem tag team title match as Kazuchika Okada and Edge are preparing themselves backstage to step forward to tonight's World Championship qualifier. I can't help but think, with what we saw, does Brutus have the potential to be a World Championship qualifier type of wrestler?
I mean, he definitely proved himself tonight, at least to some extent, I feel like. Hanging around with the big boys, even getting an elimination or 2. But now we have what is probably going to be my favorite match on your silly little card that you got here. And while I try to fix this camera once again, because our technical people who we got off of Fiverr, are continuing to disappoint me, why don't you go over just the significance of a match like this between the Rainmaker, who we can't, oh, there he is, and the Rated R Superstar?
No, absolutely. Kazuchika Okada is New Japan royalty at this point, a world champion multiple times over. Probably one of, if not the greatest world champions in the history of New Japan Pro Wrestling, having held that IWGP World Title over 700 days. I expect immense things from this match. Okada is definitely a guy who hits strong and hard. And Edge, in later years, has definitely kind of transitioned his game from being that crafty individual to a very stout veteran. I definitely think we'll be seeing multiple Rainmakers and Spears in this match. I don't think one will be enough to put down either guy. It's realistically here, who can hit their finisher for a second time first, in my opinion. And whether that'll be the outstanding ripcord lariat that is the Rainmaker or Edge's patented spear, no one will know. I'm very excited to find out. As one of the greatest theme songs in the history of professional wrestling, playing to the arena here now. The Hall of Famer Edge is a 10-time world champion. He's a guy who retired on top of the mountain due to neck injuries. And I'm very curious to see if he can successfully capture gold that, honestly, even though this is a brand new company, he never lost. Edge never lost his world title, and I definitely think that's a chip on his shoulder coming in the Overdrive Glory that he wants to get back.
As I've said before, the one moment in my time watching professional wrestling that sends absolute chills down my spine was when Edge made his surprise return at the 2020 Royal Rumble. That was a return that nobody was expecting. Edge almost shedding a tear just hearing the reception that he got. And since then, hasn't had any championship reigns in an alternate universe, but quite frankly, he does not need them because his body of work since returning absolutely speaks for itself with some of the matches that he's had. And he's continuing to go strong even today, even though we haven't seen him in a little bit. But that's okay.
Yeah. We have not seen Edge in the alternate universe since his victory over one Finn Balor. Finn 14 staples at WrestleMania. I don't know what Edge's plans are in the alternate universe. I've been hearing rumors of him wanting to retire very soon in his hometown. So I wish him the best of luck with that. But here in Glory, Edge has a very lengthy career left, and I'm excited to see that if he can cap that off, or should I say start that off with a World Heavyweight Championship. As he works over Okada in the corner. Okada counted here.
Okada now
with
tripping him
a
up.
basement rocket.
As we said, the winner of this will go on to face The Miz, Cody Rhodes, in the winner of Roman Reigns versus Claudio Big Stromboli later tonight. Now, who do you think between The Miz and Cody Rhodes is the favorite in that match so far? As Edge gets pinned at the outside.
Oh, Okada going for something crazy here. Yeah, I definitely think Edge counters that Cody Rhodes is the obvious favorite. Obviously, finishing the story is very important to Cody, and he could do that in another universe. So I think dedicating the first ever World Championship reign over here in Overdrive Glory to his father, one Dusty Rhodes, is just equally impressive. And if he can go through Roman Reigns, who has a qualifying match later tonight, to do it, I definitely think that will help ease the pain a bit. So Cody, as much as I love Mike, The Miz is the clear favorite currently. And I think regardless of who wins this match, when the third man is added, Cody Rhodes will still be the undeniable favorite. From undesirable to undeniable has been his catchphrase since returning to WWE in the alternate universe. And I definitely think Cody, out of all the men who are in qualifiers for this match, has the biggest chip on his shoulder.
And Okada going whee over the top rope, finally being able to hit that. Went for it earlier, but Edge was like, nope, stop that shit.
Absolutely. And now again, we see guys fighting out here on the outside. Hopefully this match doesn't also end in a countout. As
Well-
Okada throws Edge back into the ring.
Well, they're just trying to give the OCW universe a little bit of a show. Obviously, not much separating them besides those ECW-style barricades, which do not call Sabu or Rob Van Dam. They are going to throw themselves over those things. I don't think we have the liability insurance for that.
Not currently. We'll see what we get after the gate. That is WrestleMayhem.
And Okada, pile driver. The Edge right back up.
Again, Edge has a history of neck injury, as he's once again planted on it with that German.
Suplex, and it's the Rainmaker. Is this it?
Out of nowhere.
And Edge will kick out at 2. Your prediction seemingly coming true so far. Edge kicking out one of the most deadliest finishers in the wrestling universe. And, I mean, we just keep talking over each other, but so much shit's just happening.
No, for sure. I'm completely dumbfounded by that sequence of turning the German into a, Rainmaker here. I was not expecting that at all. Once again, proving that Okada is a master of chain wrestling here as he goes to the top rope. I am honestly surprised Edge kicked out of such a flurry of offense. I was not expecting that at all. As Okada drops the elbow.
And Okada now, he's slipped up, and Edge now with a DDT, and Edge with the Greek game momentum. He's showing off a little bit. Oh, but he goes, and Okada just intercepts him. Here's a power bomb right in the middle of the ring, right on top of the C. And is Okada looking for another one, stomping his feet.
I don't know what's next here, but it can't be good for Edge. Oh, submission maneuver?
No, he's just continuing to work over that left leg.
Will this be the end for Edge? I feel like since that first Rainmaker, he's got no real offensive. Oh, Connor.
Edge now just trying his best, trying to take control. And a little bit of teleportation action going here. Okada now grabbing Edge. That Rainmaker he can hit seemingly at any time. Instead, just going to knee him right in the stomach. And Edge rolling out, but Okada not too far behind.
I can definitely see Edge trying to just nearly survive the flurry of offense currently, hoping to try to get back into this. As Okada is absolutely working over the whole thing. This is completely unexpected. Since that flurry of offense leading to the German into the Rainmaker, Edge has just kind of been surviving. I don't know if this Hall of Famer can win this match, but that's unfortunate.
But sometimes
there's another basic dropkick here.
But sometimes all you have to do is survive. Edge next to the ropes, and what in the hell just happened there?
I think Edge may have hit his head a little bit too hard here. He's definitely being worked over the entire match. With the simplest of maneuvers, secures the victory. I am understandably shocked.
I mean, that was pretty much a one-sided victory. Edge, as you said, merely surviving and being able to kick out of that Rainmaker. That's just veteran's intuition right there. But Okada not having to work too much beyond that in order to grab the victory. And he will be the third man to compete for the Overdrive World Heavyweight Championship. Your overall thoughts on that match and whatever in God's name that finish was?
I'm absolutely dumbfounded. Again, I was expecting this match to go at least 10 to 15 minutes as we're looking forward to the women's fatal four-way here. I don't think Edge was fully ready to come back yet. I don't know if he was battling something or not, but clearly this is not the radio super we are usually used to. Very early on had the advantage. And after, again, that flurry of offense where he was basically bouncing over the entire ring. I mean, Edge caught an elbow drop from the top, turned into a German suplex, returned to the Rainmaker, and I honestly think just off of sheer experience, Edge was able to kick out, but he didn't recover after that, and Okada continued to work him over. And I think the numerous impacts to the head was just too much, and something as simple as a drop kick was enough to finish the match.
Perhaps those neck injuries slowly creeping their way back into Edge's existence. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously, our medical team that we hired off of Fiverr is absolutely top-notch. He will be getting looked at. But now, a very interesting fatal four-way, of course, as you said, between the first 4 women you drafted, but something interesting here. You have 2 horsewomen in this match, but you also have 2 of NXT's greatest exports, a good mixture of, I don't want to say old because none of them particularly old, but I guess old and new in this match. And Bianca, well, I don't know why she's still holding on to that championship.
Yeah, obviously, Bianca's the former Raw Women's Champion. Every woman in this match is champion, the world over. Bianca being the former Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte being the 14-time Women's Champion. Asuka recently relinquishing her World Heavyweight Champion, her Women's World title, after beating Bianca successfully. So I'm very curious to see Bianca obviously not getting her rematch before leaving the portal. Probably just hanging on to those memories. Again, like you said, Asuka and Bianca being 2 of NXT's greatest exports, along with the 2 horsewomen. I don't know if Becky and Charlotte are going to try and work together here or not. Their history is obviously as convoluted as DIY's is.
Mm-hmm.
And Asuka and Bianca, who were friends up until the road to WrestleMania, also have animosity for each other. So I don't think any teaming up will be necessary in this match.
And Charlotte holding a title because she feels like it. She is the opportunity after all. She is the one who created the line. Charlotte, one of the most accomplished women in the Ultimate Universe, that is WWE. Do you think she continues to assert her dominance here? Or do you think it's time for a new dominant one in the women's division?
I definitely think Charlotte has the chance to continue her ways, but however, with Glory having the best women's division in all professional wrestling, I don't think her road would be anywhere near as easy as it was during her early days in the WWE, as the other 3 horsewomen were coming into the fold. No one, I don't expect 2 to 3 month title reigns in this division, unless matches is that shit insane. I definitely think we'll be seeing 6 months to year-long reign from the majority of the women's team.
And of course, our referee, our poor simp referee, holding the ropes for Charlotte, but that's just the kind of power that she possesses over weak-minded men.
Stanley, last time I checked, you were one of those weak-minded men.
Was. And then I found Bianca, and everything changed.
That I can completely understand. And Charlotte, once again, having the simp referee remove her robe. We have former women's champions again throughout this entire match. I'm very curious to see, going into WrestleMayhem, which of these women walk out the very first glorious women's champion.
And now the final competitor in this match, Big Time Bex, the man, whatever you want to call her, the winner of the first all women's main. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, it's Asuka. I done fucked up. Becky is after that.
Becky is after that. The Empress of Tomorrow making her way to the ring here. Asuka is one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling, and obviously WWE, where she was undefeated for over 900 days, and NXT Women's Champion for over 560. Asuka probably has one of the bigger chips on her shoulder, seeing as her championship from the Ultimate Universe isn't even in the game yet, so she unfortunately can't walk out with it. But I definitely think she's looking to instead walk out of WrestleMayhem with the glorious women's championship. Asuka is a tenacious fighter here and probably one of the best submission artists in the game. All of these women besides Bianca have submissions in their arsenal, so hopefully for Bianca's sake it does not come down to that.
Though Asuka probably has to be pissed, not only that Bianca was wearing the belt that Asuka took from her, but also that Charlotte wearing that SmackDown Women's Championship belt, which was taken from her at WrestleMania 34, ending that over 900 plus day undefeated streak. How much does that defeat still hurt in your head, Eli?
It's massive, because I definitely stand by the fact that Charlotte should have not even been in that match, let alone the winner. Unfortunately, sometimes politics play a part in things like that, and that's just the way life goes. But good enough for the audience that is OCW. Nothing like that would be happening as far as I'm concerned in this company.
And Becky taking after her husband, coming in with an immense amount of drip. Now, I don't know if you've seen the Applebee's commercial that Becky and Seth Rollins have, but
I was very pleasantly surprised about that commercial.
I'm convinced that is just how those two act in real life. I don't think that was a commercial. I think they just brought a film crew to film them eating dinner. You cannot tell me that's not how they interact in real life.
Yeah, seeing them interact like non-canon or kayfabe live up, down over the years, I can definitely tell that they're just as goofy as they appear on camera. that is that real personality, and I'm excited to see what they get up to here in Overdrive, seeing as that they are indeed on different rosters for the first time in a very long time.
And now, of course, we are in the second half of Overdrive Glory. 4 women vying for a shot at Jordynne Grace and the glorious Women's Championship. The bell has rung. Becky and Charlotte going after each other. Asuka and Bianca going after each other. And again, you have 2 horsewomen and you have 2 of the newer generation, I guess, in a sense, in this match. And both sides, respectively, have formed rivalries with each other. But at the end of the day, who is going to walk out with the title opportunity? I probably had more to say, but you know what? Sometimes brain don't work. Deal with it.
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, Stanley, as I'm eating my DoorDash chips. I truly believe that Bianca Belair, in my opinion, is my favorite from this match. Obviously, Bianca probably has one of the
Another
bigger
spear.
She's spearing absolutely everyone. And people don't really believe in Bianca or her hype, saying that her Raw Women's Championship reign was severely overrated, which I have to disagree with. And I think that chip on her shoulder to prove that she is deserving of being in the ring with these 3 women who are for sure WWE Hall of Famers will carry her to victory. And like I said earlier, these 2 women done with a massive rivalry in the other universe, and Charlotte and Becca's history is known the world over. So these 2 squaring off with each other makes the most sense to me. I definitely think these 4 women will try to keep their individual matchups like this for the entire match. As Becky chose to try and tap out Charlotte with an STF here.
But Charlotte is in the ropes, but regardless, breaks out of that. Now, Bianca, going back to that title reign, she held the belt literally from Mania to Mania, winning it off of Charlotte, I believe, defending it against Becky at SummerSlam, and continuing to hold it now. And Bianca has history with literally every single woman in this ring. Of course, Becky returning at SummerSlam of 21 and beating Bianca in over 10 seconds. And I'm mistaken. It was that WrestleMania where Bianca beat Becky for the title, because Charlotte was fighting the lesser of the MMA people on that roster in Ronda Rousey, which she will not touch this organization. I'm sorry, I don't like Ronda as a wrestler. She's an attraction, yes, but I'm not a fan.
I have for the longest time felt that way about Brock Lesnar. It's only recently in the last few years that I've come to appreciate Brock as a performer.
But of course, we're getting off track here now. All 4 women on the outside. Bianca seemingly just hesitating to slam Becky onto that chair. That chair, of course, produced by Asuka. And now everyone tying up, and Bianca almost running in to Asuka's big fat ass, but missing. And now just getting absolutely... Oh, no, never mind. She's fighting back, and Charlotte's just kind of down, but slowly bringing her way back up. Asuka now caught up in the fray between Bianca and Becky, and now Charlotte and Bianca going at it. Again, all of these women having some sort of history in this match. Of course, the OCW Universe absolutely loving just the physicality on display here, and Charlotte just going to fall over. And meanwhile,
I'm very excited to see what these women get up to in the future. I'm just glad to know that these 4 women, the first 4 women taken for glory, are proving that not only do they deserve these spots over some of the men drafted, but showing that women's wrestling is at times definitely equal, but if not better than men. And I'm super excited to see this match continue, but not only the immediate future for the women's division,
Becky gets
particularly
hit
the
in
women's
the
division.
head. Jesus, another one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Bianca knows what CTE is, but she might learn someday. Becky, oh my goodness, a suplex on the outside. Ooh, excusez-moi. And Charlotte now just seemingly, little days walking over, but still putting up a fight against Bianca, running her into the video board, up on the shoulders, and oh my goodness, she might have hit her head on the barricade.
Bianca is not only up and taunting, but I definitely thought she may be unconscious after a move like that.
But
that just goes to show the mental fortitude of all the women over here on Glory.
She completely whiffs on that punch, but she and Becky have been going at each other a lot this match. The suplex, oh my God, onto the chair. Asuka holding that back. These women just beating the absolute hell out of each other. All four of these women, despite being very accomplished, having something to prove in this match. This almost feels like a modified Extreme Rules match. Less weapons, but still. Women just beating the hell out of each other, and Becky just planted on her face now. Bianca now going after Charlotte. And doing squats, showing off that strength, and then planting Charlotte up against the barricade. My goodness, Bianca trying to clean house, but Asuka sweeps the leg.
No, Bianca is definitely trying to establish dominance here in this match, and Asuka is saying, absolutely no way are you going to be better than me here, as she rocks Becky with a kick. Stanley, who do you want to win this match, now that we're a couple minutes in here?
Personally, I really want to be Bianca Belair, as all she gets broken over the knee. But Bianca being one of my favorite female superstars in an alternate universe, somebody who I got to see come up from NXT, have those breakout performances, appearing in the Rumble, getting a record elimination, being able to win the Rumble the next year.
With that braid.
And of course, it was disappointing.
How do we feel about that, by the way?
Feel about what?
Do we think that? How do we feel about her using the braid as a weapon? Is it disqualification worthy in your mind? It's been a very heated topic of discussion over the years within the wrestling community.
I really don't know what to say there. Because technically it's not a weapon. Technically it is a part of her body. And it is just hair, but it's not the hair necessarily. It's how she uses it. Obviously using it to whip the absolute fuck out of people. If you ask me, I think by the slimmest of margins, using the braid as a weapon is legal, because that braid, in case you don't remember, is used against her almost all of the time. Almost makes you wonder why she even has it in the first place. Obviously, it gives her a distinguished look, but I feel if people have the ability to pull the braid and choke her out with it, well, I feel like there's nothing wrong with using it as a whip.
No, that's fair enough. No, that's a really good point for you to bring up too. I'm just curious, because obviously that's been a very heated topic of discussion, because while it is her hair, we do know for a fact that it's an extension, and so technically it's not truly a body part. And so people are saying, well, it's not really fair. But as we get a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch.
And here we go.
Charlotte.
They're going to break it up. No! And Bianca not knowing what's going on. Asuka incapacitated. And in mid-conversation, the man proving that moniker once again. And she will face Jordynne Grace at WrestleMayhem. Jesus criminy. They beat the hell out of each other.
Absolutely. I was definitely not expecting to watch it. And we'll shout out to Becky Lynch once again proving why she is the undisputed woman on any roster. I'm very excited to see Becky versus Jordynne in the immediate future. And whoever walks out of that champion, I am completely satisfied for sure.
But I mean, just... Whew. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that match. That really felt like it could have gone any one of the four ways. I feel like Bianca both gave out and also took some of the most punishment. But I mean, just oof.
That for sure. Bianca was 100% on the receiving and giving end of most of the damage here in this match. As we look forward to our second Fatal 4-Way of the night and our final International Championship qualifier match. Only match that would not be 2 out of 3 falls. But I definitely think that this match has the potential to steal the show here and go the distance compared to the other 2 out of 3 falls match.
And of course, stealing the show, that really is kind of the name of the game here. That's how we motivate our rosters. We tell them, you might not be the main event, but you're here for a reason. You're here because you're a superstar. You're here because we love your shit. We want you to bring your best shit night in and night out. Stealing the show, not only the moniker of Dolph Ziggler, but I feel like it's a perfect way to describe Overdrive, because really any of these matches can be a show stealer, and that's what you have to love about Overdrive, not just with pride, not just with glory, but the product as a whole.
And absolutely, as Drew McIntyre, one of the steals of the draft for glory for sure, makes his way to the ring carrying that sword Agatha with him. Hopefully in this universe he doesn't decide to swing it at people, because as we've seen, it is quite smart.
He almost decapitated Baron Corbin with it. Of course, some people might tell you that'd be doing us a favor. I'd like to say otherwise, but, you know, the wrestling crowd can be a fickle bunch.
Yeah. Speaking of Baron Corbin, did you see that he recently returned to the Lone Wolf gimmick for his NXT Championship match with one Carmelo Hayes?
I didn't see the championship match, but I did see he brought it back at a live show, and quite honestly, that's the only version of Baron Corbin I've seen that felt like a real, tangible threat, one to take seriously. Though Happy Corbin was at least a fun gimmick, showing his more comedic side. But quite honestly, Baron Corbin is so talented. Not in this match, not in this company, might be someday, and I feel bad for him. Baron Corbin was once buried by a fucking joke book, for God's sake. Nobody deserves that.
Yeah, he's a guy that Drew McIntyre knows very well. So I'm curious to see if they eventually renew that rivalry here in Overdrive. As the next entrant for this match makes their way to the ring, the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, absolutely playing it up for the crowd as usual. We love Jeff here in Overdrive, and I definitely think that he has the potential to win a couple more in singles gold here on Glory.
Now, we've talked about Jeff Hardy before, you and I, of course. Hardy has had championship opportunities in an alternate universe, but whether it be due to personal issues or CM Punk just not being able to hold on to championships for long, do you think Hardy is a future main eventer on this brand?
That's the thing. Jeff has the opportunity to return to the peak that was 2008 for him. I'm very curious to see if Jeff can not only continue to show that he's changed for the better, but that his body, which has definitely been through a lot, can keep up with guys like Lance Archer here as he makes his way to the ring. Lance is probably one of the scariest guys on either roster for sure. He loves beating the crap out of people and getting paid to do it, whether he's champion or not. I feel like Lance Archer is here to cause absolute anarchy.
And I just want to point out, as much as I hate your brand, we did try our damnedest to get the rights to his song, but unfortunately his song was not available on Fiverr, so we could not get the rights to it, at least not yet. But maybe someday, if you donate to the Patreon, that does not exist, but will exist soon enough. Maybe. I don't know. Get us to 500 subscribers instead, alright? YouTube's supposed to be lowering the monetization requirements.
Yeah, do that. So we can play Everybody Dies for one Lance Archer, so he doesn't beat us up because he walked out with no music. That'd be really scary.
Now,
that's not how that happens.
Now, of course, Lance, you know, the one thing that he does have in common with everybody in this match is that Lance did have a stint in WWE, but a stint that I feel is forgettable because I feel like most people don't realize that he had a stint in WWE.
Very good point.
And the last competitor in this match, Bryan
Is
Danielson.
a guy who had a phenomenal stint. Several stints in WWE, actually. From his original one into the fact that he had to retire due to a neck injury and then come back. And that led to the Planet Champion, one of my favorite championship titles of all time. Bryan Danielson is a world champion wherever he goes, whether he holds the title or not. I definitely expect in another universe to see him capture the AEW World Championship before he's all said and done. And being the absolute madman that he is, the technical powerhouse, he's got to be the early onset favorite for this match.
All it takes is just one submission, and he could end the whole match. Danielson, of course, recently tapping out the man who just clinched his spot. Oh my goodness, wait a second. Archer trying to throw McIntyre out the ring, test of strength. But as I was saying, Danielson tapping out a potential future Overdrive World Champion in Okada in an alternate universe. The first man to make him tap in 8 years is Danielson, now going after Archer with the armbar.
No, that match at Forbidden Door was absolutely amazing. Knowing the fact that Daniel Bryan, or should I say Bryan Danielson, wrestled that match, finishing it with a broken arm. A clean break, so we can expect Bryan to get well soon. I'm definitely going to miss a couple of months in the alternate universe, but we wish him a speedy recovery. And knowing he finished him off against a top athlete like Okada, down his arm, is insane.
And I mean, just I don't really know what you can't say about Danielson. You know, he is a small guy, and there's a certain guy on my brand who has a history of eliminating small guys like Danielson as he gets hit in the face with the steps by McIntyre. But one thing you say about Danielson is Hardy with the cover and Archer kicks out. But Danielson is very, very resilient. Of course, during that famous WrestleMania 30, having to wrestle in the opening match and the main event, at one point being taken off on a hospital gurney, but running off of it, refusing to lose, and delivering one of the most feel-good moments in wrestling history, and he's just getting thrown around by McIntyre.
Absolutely. This match has the potential to steal the show, like we were talking about earlier, because all four of these guys can definitely dish out a serious amount of punishment, especially with the fact that this is a no disqualification match, being that it is a fatal four-way. I expect great things.
McIntyre
every single guy
lining up for the Claymore. Is he trying to end this early? He hits it. Danielson near the ropes, though. And Hardy trying to get in. Will he break it up? Danielson's going to kick out. Hardy not needing to break it up, but Drew taking his frustrations out anyway. Archer now just taunting on the outside, but maybe just taking a bit of a break as a stationary splash by Hardy. And Danielson's already back up. Again, playing to that resiliency we talked about. But Archer now delivering, just clobbering Danielson and McIntyre. Those steps getting in the way. And an arm drag now. And Hardy with the DDT. He might have gotten Danielson on the steps.
Oh, and well, Danielson got Danielson with the steps as he officially rolls out of the ring, taking him with him. That's been nice. I don't know. Oh, Jeff trying to go for a German there. Obviously, that's not probably happening.
And Danielson with a baseball bat. That's a lethal weapon hitting both of them. And Hardy getting hit in the head now. I don't know if he can suffer any more brain damage like that.
Drew trying to take advantage unsuccessfully as Bryan and he lock up here.
Hardy on the outside, meanwhile, grabbed the sledgehammer, but Archer
being
able to pick him up and just planting him with a slam. Archer now back in the ring, waiting for somebody to get up. Wait, he's going to grab the baseball bat. And now both of them wisely going for the pin, knowing that both of them almost missed their chance to win this match. Earlier, when McIntyre hit the Claymore, McIntyre first man to hit his finisher. Not too far into this match, the brainbuster by Danielson. Lifting up, Jesus Christ, had to lift up Lance Archer. Danielson with a stomp to McIntyre. It looks like Danielson is taking over in this match. My camera has done fucked up once again. I am firing this Fiverr crew, and I'm going to Sixer next week. I'm going to pay $6 for the next crew.
God, Sixer. No, but unfortunately, these guys aren't the best. I don't know why you thought Fiverr was a move here when 7 exists. Definitely should try that.
And a cover and all. Archer almost eating the pinfall in this match.
So, all these guys here, you know a good a bit about. You've seen their matches. You like their theme music. Who do you want to be the final member of that triple threat match coming in WrestleMayhem?
I'm going to be honest. I really want it to be Archer because I think Archer is the dark horse here. Like I said, even though all of these men with vast WWE experience, Archer was really the only one in this match not to get anywhere. And even in AEW, I feel, has gotten kind of overlooked. Obviously doing stuff with New Japan now. He was doing stuff with New Japan America right now. And oh my goodness, Jeff Hardy steals a victory under our nose.
Once again, mid-conversation trying to hype up these individuals, and a guy decides to just do what they needed to do here. I am pleasantly surprised that Jeff is the winner of this match. Obviously, I was not expecting it, but I'm happy to see it. This being the final entrant of the match means that Drew and Lance not winning, we will have, once again, an all-high flyer type of match. And I'm very excited to see what comes out of it.
But of course, you could argue, even though there were plenty of high flyers in WCW, Jeff, back in the day, probably the most popular of the high flyers. I mean, right up there with other legends like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. But of course, many knowing Jeff not just being a high flyer, but for being high risk. But Jeff not having to overexert his body there, picking up a smarter pinfall victory in that match. Didn't have to hit a finisher, didn't have to whisper into any wins, didn't have to call on his brother or anything like that. Of course, his brother was over on the Better brand. But an interesting match. But now we go to the main event for Glory. The ROH World Champion versus the still undisputed champion. Both those, of course, in alternate universes. I'm going to be honest, I'm full sending for Claudio Big Stromboli right here.
I would also love for Claudio to get his revenge in this match, but we have to remember that Roman Reigns is the epitome of God mode right now. Absolutely demolishing everyone in his way. With or without the Usos, we've seen him successfully pin guys clean. He smashed and stacked both Edge and Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania.
Which, that's still probably one of the best Mania matches I've seen. Like, that was just such a great match, and just the way that Roman ended that match, because that match was before I feel the Bloodline really started to take off. Obviously, the Bloodline were there, Jimmy and Jay were there, but that was just Roman asserting his dominance over the entirety of WWE, not only pinning the Hall of Famer Edge, but pinning a possible future Hall of Famer in Daniel Bryan / Bryan Danielson. But now Roman Reigns is on even playing field with everybody else. Can he assert his dominance in the virtual wrestling space? Only time and a 3 count will tell.
Definitely no. But Claudio has recently come into his own in AEW, obviously winning the ROH World title twice. The title had eluded him for the majority of his career, and his first World Championship. But just like Roman no longer has the bloodline, Claudio does not have the BCC, seeing as Wheeler Yuta is not signed to Glory or Pride, and Bryan Danielson and John Moxley are on separate brands. So Claudio truly is in this match all alone.
But quite honestly, Claudio, he won the ROH title on his own. Of course, beating Jonathan Gresham in a great match. You know, for some reason, he's coming out to Austin Theory's fucking Videotron. I don't think Claudio's from Atlanta. I think he's from like Sweden.
Yeah, he's the furthest thing from Atlanta on the roster.
from Atlanta, Sweden, Claudio Castagnoli. It's like the opposite of Atlanta, Georgia. It's like the one town in Sweden where cars are outlawed, so there's no traffic. You have to walk everywhere.
You either walk or you ride.
Yes. Oh my god.
You can see like all the food is absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
And Roman immediately going for it.
Razor's Edge, maybe? Oh no, a powerbomb!
Into the powerbomb.
And Claudio
what elevation on that.
Quite honestly, something about how Roman hit that. I thought that was gonna be it. Not going to lie, Roman, of course, possessing that kind of god powers.
But definitely working over Claudio. But there's no. Oh, what a big boot! I don't think anyone on this roster would just eat one move and then immediately lose here. Like, they're not Spike Dudley. No offense to him, because he could definitely take punishment.
And Claudio now, could he be regaining some momentum? Oh my god, the whiplash onto the mat. And here's the cover. Roman kicking out at one, and one pinfall apiece between these two men. Now, of course, Claudio, as you mentioned, facing Roman. I believe their match was at Backlash. Now, Claudio never did tap out. However, referee calling the match, feeling that Claudio had passed out from the reverse guillotine, but Claudio never getting that rematch due to complications with one Seth motherfucking Rollins, who's on the better brand, so therefore cannot get in Claudio's way here. But obviously, you know, Claudio, who's had a chip on his shoulder and doing the Imperium chant, possibly calling out to Gunther, maybe that could be a match in the future. But Claudio, probably still even now, with a chip on his shoulder, given everything that he went through in WWE, and just never getting that push.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely one of the guys who got stop and start pushes. People seem to forget that Claudio was a Paul Heyman guy until Brock Lesnar returned, possibly screwing Claudio out of a very successful singles one with the help of the Wise Man as special counsel.
I mean, I didn't even know that. I didn't know Claudio was a Paul Heyman guy. Yeah. I knew Heidenreich was.
Heidenreich, Claudio, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Curtis Axel.
Oh,
all were Paul Heyman.
And now these two just rolling around, beating the crap out of each other on the mat. Referee at the count of 6. And, I mean, Claudio doing the smart thing.
Roman following. Or is he?
He is
Claudio breaking the count. Roman appears to not be.
Roman! And Roman just planning on the outside. And Roman now looking for a neck breaker. It looks like no. Instead, turning around.
No.
Forearm to the back.
Elbow to the back of the neck.
And Roman now, of course, Roman, as we know, likes a very slow, methodical, but controlled pace. He's shoving the referee, trying to get into the ring. But now
Claudio with the deep hand drag here.
And Claudio, could that be the arm drag to end all arm drags? No, it is not. It is just the arm drag to start all arm drags. Claudio with the clothesline.
And this spot where it continues to try to work his way back into this match, slowly beating up Roman, trying to take advantage of the fact that he's not going at his pace.
And this one fairly
elbow here.
Physical already. Here's the cover, another kick out at 1. Neither side getting to a 2 count yet in this match, I don't believe.
No, so far they've been very quick kickouts at one here. I think this is more about one-upping each other and getting psychological advantage.
Oh, and then Roman,
Oh,
he's locked in that reverse
guillotine.
guillotine. And Claudio gonna do probably everything in his power not to tap. Claudio's not moving though. Oh wait, no, here he goes.
Yeah.
Almost reversed it into a pin, but he breaks out of it. And now, throwing punches, a fireman's carry, and spinning him around, not even holding him. Roman. And could this be a 2 count, maybe a 3? There's 1. There's the first 2 count of the match. And Roman just getting taken around the world and back. And here we go.
Going for the sharpshooter here.
And Roman is very close to the ropes, though. Is Claudio going to try to take him to the center of the ring? It doesn't look like it, but Roman
we can't really see from the camera angle. Once again, these 5 guys absolutely doing nothing of beneficial here.
You should have told me that 7 was a thing, damn it. I knew 6 was a thing.
7 was a thing.
No, I knew 6er was a thing, but that's $6. I only had $5. Anyways, here's the cover. Roman with a 2 count of his own.
This is the match that I can definitely see continuing to push each other to the limit. Claudio goes for another sharpshooter.
And this time, a bit closer to the middle of the ring. Roman's going to have to struggle a little bit. Breaking it immediately.
What a counter.
Roman with a neck breaker. And Roman, could he be pointing up to the sky? Claudio.
Roman recently announced in the universe that they aren't the ones. He is the only one. Thanks to the Usos no longer being members of the bloodline, we can look forward to Tribal Court this Friday in an alternate universe to decide the fate of one Roman Reigns. After being pinned for the first time in 3.5 years.
And Claudio sending that man to the outside in high risk again. And throwing his hands.
What a phenomenal drop here by Claudio.
Yeah, we're not really sure what you... I mean, it looks like he's breaking an invisible broom handle over his head. We'll call that the broom handle.
I want to say it's an axe handle.
I like the broom handle better.
Alright, dropping the broom handle on Roman Reigns here.
Thank you. And a Superman punch in the corner. Is he going for the spear?
Oh no.
Yes, he is. Is this going to be it?
This might be the end of the match. Claudio kick out. 1.
And Claudio kicks out with the spear.
What a phenomenal match this has been so far. Absolutely crazy offensive sequence to hear about Roman Reigns. As the
and a knee to the face. Claudio just trying to buy himself just a little bit of time. Obviously. Oh, and Roman goes over the top rope, but he misses. Very rare we see Roman go high risk like that. Roman knowing what it's going to take to put him away. And despite all that, just doing whatever in God's name that was, and picking Claudio back up again and just hitting with uppercuts and going for something. He puts him on the mat. I thought he was going for a pin, but it's not false count anywhere. Roman is probably super pissed at Claudio. Roman, of course, wanting to end the match then and there, but not able to do it. But Claudio is still in deep shit right now.
Absolutely, Roman making his way back into the ring here, going to the top.
We never see the Tribal Chief do this, and an elbow drop.
Elbow drop to that.
And Claudio taking a lot of damage in that neck smash. And now just being hit in the arm, and for whatever reason, the mat didn't make a sound. Here we go.
Oh no.
Superman punch.
He's calling for another Superman punch there.
And he's hit, but he's near the ropes. Roman probably looking for the spear now.
Going back to the corner, calling for it here. Will this be the end? Claudio has not been able to answer back.
And he's hit with it, but he's in the ropes. Or is he? There's the 2.
3. And Roman Reigns continues his dominance. Unfortunately, Claudio just could not recover from that first Superman punch spear sequence. And suffers the consequences because of it.
And
The
from
tribal chief is going to WrestleMayhem.
But from our perspective, Claudio, his head close to the ropes, but obviously not able to move, couldn't get his arms up for a rope break. Claudio showing a lot of grit, but not quite able to hit the big moves like Roman did. And Roman, as you said, going to WrestleMayhem, and that means that your card is entirely filled out. Roman, Cody, Miz, and Okada.
What a phenomenal four-way that is going to be. I expect great things. Honestly, with Roman solidifying his spot in this match, I don't know if Cody is the favorite going into this anymore.
Ah, man, we shall see. But of course, even more spots being filled out tonight. Before we go to a not-so-commercial break, in order to switch shows, I feel like we need to go over your half of the card for Mayhem now. If I'm not mistaken, Glorious Women's Championship, Jordan Grace versus Becky Lynch, International Championship. Who's going to be in that International Championship? Refresh my memory.
The International Championship match, we obviously had qualifiers over the last 2 weeks, and the final card for that, the triple card, is now officially won. The charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. We've also got Mustafa Ali and one Cedric Alexander. Those two guys pulling the reverse sweep after going down 1-0 in their matches, winning 2-1 back to back. I'm very excited to see Cedric and Mustafa, the heart and soul respectively, of 205 Live, go against the Hall of Famer that is Jeff Hardy in a match that should be for the ages.
But then, of course, as we just went over your World Championship, but Tag Team Championships being determined in a pretty unique way, I will say, with the New Day being able to choose the stipulation as they go against the Judgment Day. Of course, the Judgment Day in this universe being just Finn Balor and Damian Priest, with the New Day not only having the advantage of picking the stipulation, do you think having that extra man and with the Freebird rule in effect, how much of an advantage do you think that gives the New Day?
I think that gives the New Day a very, very large advantage that people tend to forget, because all these guys are not only phenomenal tag team wrestlers, that they know each other like the back of their hands, but they've also seen quite a bit of singles success. Obviously, Kofi is a former WWE champion. After a grueling gauntlet match on both his and his teammates' parts leading up to Kofi Mania in the match against Daniel Bryan, Big E being a former Intercontinental Champion, Money in the Bank winner, and WWE Champion, and King Xavier Woods finally getting his own theme music by winning that tournament and solidifying his childhood dream. He has no other wants besides hosting Nickelodeon Game Night. I want to say he's been a successful tag team champion. He's always been a tag team wrestling guy. He won King of the Ring, beating Finn Balor at Crown Jewel to do it. And I definitely think, as good as Damian and Finn are, they have to be wary of whoever's the odd man out and whatever stipulation they pick.
Exactly right. Now, are there any other matches that I'm missing on your side of the card, or did we hit them all?
I want to say those are indeed the 4 matches for my side of the card. Obviously, Kevin Owens is waiting in the wings of Mr. Break the Ceiling. Maybe he challenges the winner of the Fatal 4-Way to a match that night. Who knows?
Well, but didn't you say that there has to be at the very least like a week or so for that match to happen?
This is true, but you also have to remember that Kevin Owens is an avid Twitter user, and the night's not over.
I guess that's very true, but obviously Kevin Owens probably watching on from the back as my camera shits the bed yet again. I fucking hate Fiverr. This is not sponsored by Fiverr or anybody, because the crew sucks. But anyway, Kevin Owens probably sitting back and catering, manila envelope in hand, and obviously going to be watching that championship match very, very intently at WrestleMania. Mayhem. But that is just the first half of our programming here in Overdrive, because coming up, we will move over to the Orange brand as we have yet another stacked card for you lovely people. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes for the better brand, the Orange brand, the prideful brand. Stay tuned.
Yeah.